of the show. This is the pipe bomb edition of the Gooch and JJ show. We're just gonna talk about some of the worst decisions made by WWE history. My co-host Mr. Gooch has a list that we're gonna go over. I forgot to make my list, so I'm just gonna shoot at the top of my head. So again, if we don't get to some of the ones that you might think was a bad decision, just email us and send us an email, send us a tweet, whatever you think.
GNJJ podcast at gmail.com. Twitter, GNJJ show. Fucking, that's how you can contact us. Instagram, Mr. Gooch and JJ. If you have any questions, if you have any requests, like, you want to talk about in terms of some of the dumbest decisions ever made by WWE, just let us know. Shoot at us, and we'll get back to you next week episode. We're probably going to do a part 2 because I think we want to cover everything in depth. And I mean, we're probably just going to WWE here, but in the wrestling world, it's not just WWE. WCW. I think WCW deserves a nice little show too. I don't know, man. WCW is fucking dead, man. We could do it, but
TNA too, man. I think we need to do a show where like TNA and WCW are combined on that one show, and we just go over everything. Because the truth be told, these two companies, they could have put up a fight against WWE and help make the product better, and do stupid ass decisions for everybody.
Well, yeah, I guess since they're not independent wrestling promotion right now, since they're still on cable television, we can give them some promotion. We can give them some shine. But once them motherfuckers go off the air, I'm never mentioning the words TNA again because they don't deserve my time.
Alright, so how do you want to do this, man? I mean, if you want me to start, I'll go start shooting off the top of my head, and if you want to talk about the list, we can talk about the list.
This microphone in the hands of an ordinary man is just a microphone, but in our hands it's a pipe bomb, and we're finna murk some niggas today, not figuratively. I mean, not literally, but figuratively. So with that being
whoa, you're making friends, man. Like, what's going on?
Well, if they continue the track that they was on in maybe like 2009, 2010, I probably would have sent a death threat to Vince McMahon because the shit that was going back
around, man.
Speaking of 2010, I want to start off with the Nexus.
Oh man, what a waste!
That was a missed opportunity right there because nobody seen it coming. You had all these rookies around in the ring, just destroy everybody. And I mean everybody. Cameramen, the wrestlers that was in the ring, announced people, they ripped the ring apart. Freaking Daniel Bryan choking out Josh, what's that?
John Cena.
Nah, what's that nigga name? That Josh Matthews, not Josh Matthews, the one that Justin Roberts, choking out Justin Roberts with his tie and then spitting in John Cena's face. And then they had the match at SummerSlam. John Cena, it's the Nexus, the whole Nexus versus John Cena. John Cena takes a fucking takes a DDT to concrete, kicks out, comes back, eliminates all members of the Nexus, and the Nexus is dead.
Truth be told, a lot of things from those angles I did not like. It was cool, man. For thinking, I don't want to go as far to say, oh, this is the NWO, but for a moment, like, they made you feel when you was watching that promo, it made you feel like, this team, they for real, man. They for real. But there was that one time where like they made John Cena, I think, join Nexus.
Yeah, that's another missed opportunity. Because
exactly,
I think this was after they lost to SummerSlam. They could have turned Cena heel or something like that.
Exactly. But let's not talk about the John Cena. I think that's the last thing we need to talk about in terms of the pipe bomb.
But son, basically, it's still gonna turn to Cena because this whole decade is these missed opportunities is basically because of Cena, because they wanted Cena so much they didn't give this person an opportunity, or they didn't back this person completely that much. Like the whole shit that happened with Punk, and why Punk didn't get to a certain level was because they kept sucking John Cena and didn't want to move out the way. Because Punk was champion for 434 days, and how many times did he main event? He only main evented when he was wrestling John Cena. You mean to tell me a John Cena versus John Laurinaitis match main evented over a Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk match for the WWE Championship? Really? I remember when that shit happened, man, and I'm like, so they're really gonna make this the main event? That's fucking bullshit.
That's WWE, man. When it comes to Nexus, just to finish off on the Nexus, eventually we know that every stable, sooner or later, got to split, right? The way it went down with them, I think it happened too early. And to have John Cena, I understand that in WWE's world, the good guy has to win. But the way it happened way too early, man. And you basically, you took down the career of 5 people down, not just a notch, not just a peg. It took them down drastically. And maybe the only one, when we're talking about Wade Barrett, being not the face of the company, but being one of the top babyface, man. I think he never recovered from that, man. I don't think none of them truly, recover. I mean, Ryback's coming into his own now. I mean, look at his later. Look what he's doing. Darren Young and Justin Gabriel, man. I mean, he's not even on the company.
He's just signed with Jeff Jarrett. Think about it. Even think about it. The only person that survived that was Daniel Bryan. He was technically only in Nexus for like a day.
And it's true to be told, the only reason he survived is because of the crowd. It wasn't because of Vince.
Yeah, but even if you go down a list of all the people that was in the Nexus of missed opportunities, you can even point it back to certain things, or even WWE. Like with Wade Barrett, it was he was injury prone. Let's just say that, because whenever they was ready to give him a monster push, he just got hurt. But then even the shit that was just happening a little while ago with the Bad News Barrett thing, that was getting over. And he did an interview when he said that they told him to stop doing the bad news, stop saying, I'm afraid I got some bad news, because the crowd, it was getting over with the crowd, basically. They was saying it. So I'm saying, if this is getting over, why would you tell him to stop doing it? And then they made him King of the Ring just so they can change his name from Bad News Barrett to King Barrett. That's another one of them shits when they haven't missed opportunities. You could have turned him heel and he would have been the biggest European babyface that you've had. And then when you go over to the UK would have a big babyface that you could cheer for with some charisma, instead of just Adrian Neville, who don't really have charisma. That's just great at wrestling and flying around, good storytelling and all this and that. But he just debuted, so it's just missed opportunity after missed opportunity, man.
But like I said, having Cena do that, having Cena defeat all of them, that it certainly did not help Barrett at all. So as it pertains to the Nexus, man, then the whole Nexus angle, I think Vince fucked up by beating his ego, man. I understand the good guy gotta win, man, but you know what? What if the Nexus would have won? What if they would have done what Kevin Owens did to John Cena, this past Sunday? Vince, I understand that was the top, the top guy back in, and he's still the top guy now, but sometimes you just like he's doing now, you gotta put people over, man. Listen. And
I think that's the whole reason why they had Cena beat him, because they didn't know what to do. If the Nexus would have won, WWE wouldn't. Them incompetent writers wouldn't know what to do with them. So they was just said the easiest thing is to have John Cena just overcome the odds and beat him.
Do a hostile takeover. Have something like the NWO. That's just what I think. But yeah, that's enough for the Nexus, man.
The only way that shit would have worked is if they would have did the hostile takeover, and then WWE would have had the mentality that it looks like they're starting to have now. They would have brung in these indie guys, these new guys. So then it would have been the Nexus is taking over, and you would have had all these new rookies coming in, or these new people that you've never really seen before. And it's like,
or
it's really a hostile takeover.
Or you could have done something like the Shield.
Yeah.
But again, that ain't happening. So anyway.
Yeah. Another thing with the Shield. This is not on my list, but this is the thing that I want to say about the Shield. They missed out on the Shield because the Shield used to be mercenaries. They used to, it used to be the thing for justice. When injustice would happen, they would, do that. But it seemed like that even changed. Like, what did the Shield become? What really was the Shield? Like that, I remember that stretch when the Shield wasn't really. They were just having matches, but what were they? What were they doing? And then that's when they joined the Authority. They got paid by the Authority. Because first, when they debuted, was they working with Punk? Was they not working with Punk? Was they paid off by Heyman? Was it with Heyman? Was it with Punk to begin with? That just goes back to the storylines. They forget things after 2 weeks. Things just don't make sense. So,
truth be told, you know what? I think after a while they kind of lost their identity. You know what? And it would have. Listen, I don't know how you feel, but I think it was a bad mistake for WWE to split up. And don't get me wrong. I mean, it kind of worked out. Listen, I don't want to say it was a good or it wasn't a good nor a bad decision. Had the Shield stayed longer, it would have been good. Let's say had they stayed longer for a longer ride, as stable. You have them do, like you said, the injustice, the group that fight for justice or whatever, right? Yeah. You could have that. You could have that. Even longer. You could have prolonged that. Again, like I'm not saying it was a right or wrong answer to split up the Shield at the moment that they did, because look how things are now. They're good. So I don't want to complain towards that end. But I don't, because I don't really have a beef the way they split up the Shield. Honestly, I don't see that. I don't see it as a bad nor a good booking, but I think they just could have done more. They could have them have a specific role, not just a regular. Towards the end, you kind of just felt like, okay, there's just like a regular staple. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna agree. I'm just gonna disagree with you for one reason. Just looking back on it, just because when you break up the Shield, think about the major storylines and the matches we had just in the last year. If you kept the Shield together, we wouldn't have had any of that. Like, if you kept the Shield together, we wouldn't have had the good Ambrose versus Seth Rollins matches that they had the last years. We wouldn't have had Bray Wyatt and Ambrose. We wouldn't have had the great Seth Rollins run, great string of great matches that he had. We wouldn't even had Roman Reigns probably wouldn't have got hurt, but to each his own. We wouldn't have had Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble, but we wouldn't have got Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, because the Shield breaking up basically saved WWE's summer. Because if you kept them together, who else are they gonna fight? Because they already did a clean sweep of Evolution, and then by that time, I think the Wyatt family was already broken up, so they couldn't feud with them.
Well, I won't go as far as to say, and again, it's like you said, there's certain things that
the breakup would have happened regardless.
Whether it happened
that night or at SummerSlam.
Of course, it was gonna happen regardless, but I think there was still more that you could have done with the Shield, even to help the tag team division. But again, listen, I honestly disagree with me, but listen, I don't see it the way they split up. I don't have a beef with it, nor do I think it's I don't think it's good, nor I think it's bad. I'm just like indifferent towards it. To me, it doesn't really matter. Either way, it worked out, whatever. But I don't know. I think you know what? I just wanted to see more. That's just me. Maybe a couple more months, would have been okay.
Well, don't worry. The Shield will probably get back together 2016, because I see after WrestleMania 32, I think it's free reign after that. Because after WrestleMania 32, they're going to be grasping for straws. You're probably going to do a Shield triple threat. I'm pretty sure we'll get the Shield triple threat at WrestleMania. It'll be a great match, and then after we'll have them all three in the ring, and they're just looking at each other, and it'll be like a newfound respect. And then if Seth Rollins is still in the Authority, that's the night after WrestleMania is probably when he probably leaves the Authority. And probably goes back to the Shield, and then it'll turn back into the Shield. Got to take down the Authority. You never know.
Just to like, again, I'm shooting off the top of my head here. I'm going back to the Attitude Era. Something that I really have a beef with was when Stone Cold won the belt for the first time. So I don't know if you remember.
Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. That title run, it didn't last that long, man. Now again, back in the Attitude Era, title reigns didn't really last that long to begin with.
Who did he lose it to?
I think it was the Undertaker. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. If Stone Cold, I think back then we didn't know what we know now. I mean, we know now that Stone Cold's probably the greatest WWE superstar of all time, and he saved the company.
Yeah, but I wouldn't disagree with that.
But
WWE champion of all time, you gotta give it to. Hear me out, but just,
no, I know. I'm just saying greatest superstar.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because if you use the words,
not the greatest champion.
Because physical champion, you gotta say John Cena, just because of the fucking 15 times, and it pisses me off just to say that, but Stone Cold, the greatest WWE superstar that they ever had.
But knowing, like me and you and everybody listening, what we know now about Stone Cold, the way he lost the belt, I don't know. It's just like, and listen, everything. This really wasn't really a bad decision. There were a couple of bad decisions in the Attitude Era, but when it comes to like storyline wise, I don't know. I think I just want to see the title. I just want to see the title, with him more.
But that also goes back to the chase is better than actually having it. Because even think about after Daniel Bryan finally won the belt, it's like, okay, what do you do now?
Peak.
Like
that was the peak.
But then that's when you even have the difference. Like, because I think with CM Punk, the chase for the belt is still good, but CM Punk with the championship was still great, especially once he turned heel. So, but the whole problem with that is the whole babyface thing, like, because if after you can only so much have Stone Cold win the belt and then have them chasing after Stone Cold for the belt, they would have to get the belt back. So then Stone Cold Stone Cold would get the belt back, because Stone Cold can't hold the belt for a year, because then you got The Rock that's coming up, and you still got the Undertaker getting hot. Then at that point, Mick Foley was getting hot.
That's why when I'm thinking about it, it's like, damn, every decision they made in the Attitude was pretty much good or great or whatever, or perfect. Like I just wanted to see him, with the belt just a little bit more. But the only thing is like you said, Rock was coming up, but then again, you also had he was basically on a feud with Vince the whole time. So one way or the other, Vince was Vince is the owner of the company. He's gonna get the belt regardless. He's going to. No matter what, he's gonna do some stupid shit to take the belt away from
At some point, Vince gotta look like he's about something. Like he's
exactly to make the story credible. You gotta have the bad guy, go over. And that's something that they don't understand right now. Anyway, as for me, that's Attitude Era. One more thing about the Attitude Era. And I don't listen. I'm not trying to sound funny. I don't want to be an asshole. That's you. That's your run.
I ain't no asshole, son. I did a walk for fucking healthcare, son.
The fuck out of here.
This past Saturday, son.
Anyway, having Owen Hart.
I hope you ain't one of those people that think that they should have stopped the show.
No. Oh no. Hell no. The only thing is that hell no. All I'm saying is that there was no listen. So I'm not listen. I'm not trying to be funny, but the only thing is they should have never made him go through that, man. No person should risk their lives like that. You know what I'm saying? I think that was probably one of the stupidest, dumbest decisions ever by WWE. And on top of it was the blue glacier. I mean, fucking ridiculous.
Well, what about Sting? He used to come down from the rafters, though.
Yeah, but you know what?
That was WCW.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that.
That was WCW.
You're not seeing him do that now nowadays.
ECW and all these other places, NWA used to have scaffold matches.
Yeah,
you have
but
a match
like I said,
suspended above like 70 feet. You gotta throw the nigga off the scaffold. Like, that's fucking stupid.
Like I said, you know what? I think that was one of the worst decisions ever. If and to segue, segue perfectly. Truth be told, Vince killed Owen Hart just by letting that shit happen.
Nah, Vince Russo killed Owen Hart.
Well, Vince okayed it. Vince okayed it, man.
Well, by the way, we just followed him on Twitter, so you know.
Okay. Well,
I'm not an asshole. Well, we have followed Vince Russo, man. Vince Russo be speaking that shit sometimes, but sometimes he just sound a little ignorant.
And for a nice little segue to talk about Chris Benoit. Listen, I understand what Chris Benoit did. I understand, killed his wife, his kid, and himself. And I still remember vividly. I still remember, how it went down.
Yeah, man.
But to not, but to not credit the man, to not give him credit for, it's like basically in WWE's eyes, Chris Benoit's life never existed. You know what I'm saying? All his achievement never existed. Now, in my eyes, in your eyes, that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I understand what he did, but he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that, but he should be on the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he should be. But let me just play devil's advocate really quick, because they explained this in the past, and I kind of understand where they're coming from. They can't take away from everything Chris Benoit did. They can't ever say that he wasn't a world heavyweight champion. But they can't really promote him, and then like really put him in the Hall of Fame wouldn't really. It wouldn't sit right, just because if, like, let's say this WrestleMania in Dallas, big across the screen, they have a big Chris Benoit picture and it said Chris Benoit finally going to Hall of Fame. I'm gonna text you and we just gonna be talking about Chris Benoit killing a person. Oh, they're gonna put him in the Hall of Fame, and then it's gonna be a shitstorm in media. I understand that. What I have a problem with is them not showing. We can't even see WrestleMania 20. Highlights of that. When they say the greatest WrestleMania main events, the greatest WrestleMania moments, they fucking lie every time, because they do not show that moment. They do not show that.
That was the WrestleMania moment, man. Him and Eddie, man. That was the WrestleMania moment.
That's what pisses me off, because when they have the Radicals and they just focused on the three members besides Benoit, they zoom in just so you see just those three people. That's what pisses me off, because it's like, yo, you don't need to hide his face. Like when you see when you see a Chris Benoit, when you see matches on the network, Chris Benoit's matches aren't highlighted. That kind of pisses me off. Like, just not piss me off like to the point where I just want to fucking write an angry letter, but it's just like, damn, son, it makes me really think about the murders and stuff. It's just, you don't see the NFL. If you watch NFL Network, they still show O.J. Simpson highlights.
And look what he did. Well, he was acquitted.
Well,
that's a different story.
Well, to each his own. The nigga is in jail now, so.
Again, another nice little segue from, what we're talking about, the WrestleMania moment, WrestleMania 20, between Eddie and Chris Benoit.
Man, that fucking. I can't even watch that shit right now without tearing up a little bit, man. Fucking Eddie Guerrero. Man, damn.
Another thing that pissed me off was the way WWE handled Eddie's death in terms of creative and storyline wise. Rey Mysterio had no business. What? Listen, I'm not. I'm not. Listen.
God, you've been holding on to this since high school.
No. Okay, Lamar, but, son, but am I being serious? I'm being serious right now. Tell me, explain to me how Rey Mysterio is a World Heavyweight Champion. Explain to me how he's a World Heavyweight Championship mystery.
He was over.
Oh, that's it.
He was over, son. Now I'm not saying put the belt on Zack Ryder, but
okay, but Fandango was over after WrestleMania 29. So
but,
to see this at the belt.
But Rey Mysterio.
But what's the reason why he was over, son?
Listen. I know the reason. I'm gonna say it, but I'm just trying to give some. You know, Rey Mysterio was a great, fantastic wrestler from around the world. So, what I would say is, when Rey Mysterio won a belt, it still looked a little funny, but I still kind of had that moment when I was like, okay, Rey Mysterio won it. But I just didn't like the circumstances under he won it. Because he only won it because Eddie Guerrero died.
Exactly. But truth be told, though, let's be honest. He was never going to win that belt.
He was never going to win that belt if
it wasn't because of Eddie's death.
Because that's the only championship reign he had. And then the second time he ever won a world championship in WWE was he beat a tournament, and on the same night he lost the belt to John Cena.
Yeah.
So he had the belt for roughly an hour and a half.
So, yeah, that's another thing that pisses me off. You know what? Listen, I understand what happened with Eddie. I understand WWE trying to do, but to take advantage of that opportunity, and for Ray to even do that, man, how you just gonna, like, if I come up to you and I tell you, okay, we're gonna make you World Heavyweight Champion. I don't know if they're talking about Eddie's death, but based on Eddie's death, we're gonna make you a World Heavyweight Champion. How you let that shit happen? That's kind of fucked up,
man. I'm pretty sure if Eddie didn't die, that would have been his position.
No, he was never gonna win. He was never gonna win, man.
You know what? Let me sit there and just think about this. Saying that he never would have won. You don't think that if Eddie won the belt, he wouldn't have had a feud with Rey Mysterio, and some Rey Mysterio would have got lucky and then won the belt? Not saying he would have had a good reign or nothing, because after he won the belt at Mania, he only lasted for what, like 30 days, 60 days, something like that, if that. So, yo.
Yeah.
You got kids?
Oh my God, I don't want to start. Let's start. I'm out to scold him. I'm telling you.
Alright, son, I want to go back to the Attitude Era real quick and talk about the invasion angle. Cause that was the biggest missed opportunity that they've had in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Maybe in the history of their company. Because you had WCW. You had the rights to their talent. But what fucked it up was you didn't have the main players. You didn't have the NWO. Which they fucked up later. That's another missed opportunity. But you didn't have the NWO. You didn't have Sting at that time. You didn't have Goldberg. Basically, all you had was Booker T. And the Scott Steiner came around later. You didn't have Ric Flair.
It was basically the B. Well, I don't even want to say the B player. It was basically the C players and Booker T. You know, and that was it.
C&B
not
players.
Enough, man.
Even at that point, Booker T, I wouldn't even say Booker T was an A plus player. He was dope. Plus. He was really dope. He was good, but he wasn't
a B plus player.
Yeah, I would say Booker T was a minus. I would say he was an A minus. He was a 5-time WCW champion, even though it is WCW.
With me, it's like, and let me tell you something. I don't know how you feel, but when they started talking about this invasion and all this, when all this shit started going down, let me tell you something. I was excited, man. I was thinking, yo, this shit is about to go down, man.
Word. And then ECW got involved.
Yo, you have exactly. You had WWE, WCW, and you have them together fighting each other. Yo, that shit is crazy. But the fact that they only brought C players, man, that just messed it up. Yo, you can't be you can't take it seriously, man. You can't take that serious. How can you take that serious when you got WWE basically the best of WWE against the, I don't want to say the worst, but the average of WCW? Come on, no, man. That WWE fucked up with that.
Can you imagine if they would have had Sting and Goldberg and the NWO son, and then you would have legitimately had a WCW at Survivor Series? You would have had a legitimate WCW versus WWE. There's no way in hell WCW would have went over because Vince McMahon.
Of course not.
Because fucking Sting didn't go over Triple H, and that shit was 15 years ago. And didn't I call that?
But
you
know what? That was one hell of a mixed opportunity for WWE. Had they brought up the big guns, and I don't know there was like a contract issue, so some. But then again, I think
they wanted to sit at home.
Yeah,
Kevin Nash especially.
and then you talk about why I hate him so much. Anyway,
Kevin Nash.
But yeah, but yeah, man, I think that was one of the worst decisions for WWE. Man. That was such a missed opportunity, man. But
what about the ECW rebirth? That was another missed opportunity too, and that was only in the span of 5 years from each other.
I liked it at first, man.
Yeah, but then they fucked that shit up.
But then it just went down the drain. It went down the drain. Once they started,
on Big Show.
Yo, once they started numbing it, or whatever you want to call it,
dumbing it down.
Yeah, or tone it down.
Yeah,
to where SmackDown and Raw level, that was it, man. You couldn't take that brand seriously. It basically became the minor leagues of WWE instead of being the alternative.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you exactly what it was. Once you started, once it became Extreme Rules matches, because before it used to be every match was just Extreme Rules, right? Like, it wasn't every match you're gonna use weapons and stuff. It was just, that's how it is. You can use weapons, but not everybody else used weapons. Like Kurt Angle, he took the whole no holds barred Extreme Rules thing and started using chokeholds. And chokeholds are illegal. You can't do a choke. You're supposed to do a sleeper, but he started doing chokeholds, right?
Yeah.
So, but they started fucking it up once they started making it specifically, Extreme Rules matches. So then I remember sitting there thinking, like, okay, so then what's the difference between this and Raw and SmackDown? Because then you started seeing Raw niggas from Raw on ECW, and then they threw the ECW championship on a Big Show, and the main feud was Big Show versus Bobby Lashley, and Bobby Lashley wasn't ECW. And then Rob Van Dam fucked it up when he got him and Sabu got caught smoking weed and stuff, and he had to get the belt stripped of him. So
yeah,
it was just a whole bunch of things, and then it had that shitty ass December to Dismember, and then Vince McMahon
that show was terrible.
And then Vince McMahon didn't want to give up control to Paul Heyman, and it's like, why not? Like, that would have been a perfect thing. The reason why ECW failed was because of business. If Paul Heyman had Vince McMahon's wallet, ECW would have been fucking crazy. ECW would have been NXT. But Vince McMahon didn't want to give up the reins and give Paul Heyman, what's the word? Leverage or whatever. ECW should be what NXT is now, and that's where they fucked up. Again, it's a good thing that they realized it now. But think about all the generation of wrestlers that they had. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? The good thing is, you cannot hope that the same thing that happened, and I hope it doesn't happen. I think it probably won't happen. The same thing that happened to ECW does not happen to NXT. Because if that happens to NXT, man, that would be one of the biggest travesties from WWE history, man.
Here's why I don't think it will happen to NXT, because The difference between ECW and NXT was
Triple H.
Triple H, yeah, because Triple H is gonna get everything, and Triple H is smart enough to know that NXT is what the fans really want. But if you saying something, you kind of breaking up a little bit. But let me just say this: can you imagine if ECW was what NXT is now? Can you imagine having at that time CM Punk, Samoa Joe on that show, having Daniel Bryan on that show, having Shelton Ben? Well, Shelton Ben was already up there, but you know what I mean. Having all the along with the NXT originals, and then you got Kurt Angle down there.
Yo, that shit would have been crazy, man.
That would have been dope. And then you would have had they could have brought in AJ Styles, but they wanted to sit on their ass, and they missed a whole bunch of opportunities on a whole generation of wrestlers. Like there's no reason why now Samoa Joe should be coming in, or AJ Styles should now be coming in, or Daniel Bryan only got his push last year, or CM Punk only got his push 3 years ago. But John Cena had a consistent push for the last 13 years.
That's nice, man. Anyway, before we get out of the Attitude Era, you were talking about the invasion early. Yeah. I just want to throw it down to you. Booker T versus Triple H.
Thanks you for reminding me, man.
I had that shit on my mind the whole time, just waiting for us to finish talking so I could, bring it up.
Listen, this is what I'm gonna say. Triple H, I understand what you're doing with NXT. I respect you for what you do with NXT. I respect your mind for the business. But that storyline is one reason why I would never in my life like you or become a fan of you. Well, I like Triple H, but I would never cheer. Triple H always has. I always have a weird feeling towards Triple H because this whole storyline, man, was centered. It was Triple H was the big, bad, evil villain. He's rich. Yeah. He got everything he wanted, man. He didn't even have to fight for the championship. It was handed to him. He went through everybody from Rob Van Dam to Kane to Chris Jericho. He beat up his best friend Shawn Michaels and made out with the belt. So Booker T coming from the streets, coming from the bottom. He just got out of a shitty ass storyline. Well, not a shitty, but you know what I mean. He was just a comedy tag team with Goldust. Was this before or after? I think this was after that. So I'm gonna just go with that. So they go into a feud. Booker T wins a battle royal, right, to become the number one contender. He eliminates The Rock, right, on Monday Night Raw. He eliminates The Rock, son, to become the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. To main event Wrestlemania, quote, because WWE likes to say the championship's main event. To main event WrestleMania against Triple H. Triple H cuts a promo in the ring. And this motherfucker says, and I quote, "Somebody like you doesn't get to be a world champion. People like you don't deserve it. You're not a competitor. You're an entertainer. You make people like me laugh." He even says something about his nappy hair, son. So, he says, people like you will never be world champion. You don't even belong in the same league as people like me, son. He goes into WrestleMania. He fucking throws everything at Triple H. Every move that he knows in the book. He whips out his old finishing move that he hasn't done since WCW, the Harlem Hangover, which is a top rope front flip senton into a leg drop. Does that on Triple H. That should have been the finish. Triple H kicks out, hits one pedigree, the only pedigree in the match, pins him clean in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. So instead of being a dignified, heroic black wrestler, beating the racist world champion that's a fucking snob that didn't even deserve being the champion, that basically got handed the world championship and has Ric Flair in his corner, he loses and proves Triple H right, and then just goes away. That has not sat well with me ever since I was... What's this, WrestleMania 19? This hasn't sat right with me ever since I was like fucking 12 years old, son.
Let me just put it to you. Let me just put it to you.
No, not even 12. It was 19 ever since I was 10 years old, son. 10, 11 years old.
Let me put it to you this way. And I need you to answer this question for me, okay? Isn't the good guy supposed to win in WWE's world? Isn't the hero supposed to, get the last lap?
Son, it's supposed to, but let me tell you exactly what it was.
What should have won, son?
It was WCW. It was Vince McMahon looking and saying we cannot have WCW win the belt, because Vince McMahon did not look and see and say this is a babyface that people was behind, and that this was a heel that people actually hated. This was a storyline people could sink their teeth into. This was a storyline that a whole generation, that a whole race, that a whole fucking that wrestling fans could sink their teeth into. This was wrestling 101. He was supposed to go over, man. And you know what? Vince McMahon only saw it as... He did not see it as that. He saw it as WCW guy losing to WWE guy.
And that's just fitting his own ego. That's what it was, man.
And case in point, because after that, he beat Goldberg and he beat Scott Steiner. Who from WCW did Triple H lose to? We all... Okay, we know that he did take a pinfall to Goldberg and this and that, but I'm talking about in a major situation and it benefited the other person.
But look what happened last year.
Chris Benoit, you could say that. I'll give you that. But was Chris Benoit really a WCW guy? Or was he just in WCW, made his name around the world, and when he came to WWE?
But at that time, Chris Benoit, I think people recognized Chris Benoit more. I don't want to say that, but he was more WWE, I think, at that point, than he was WCW. Yeah, so I don't know if you want to throw that in there.
I can't even give you Kevin Nash either, because Diesel.
Yeah.
So you know what? It just seems like every Triple H was just in every. Ever since I started watching wrestling, Triple H has just always been in the way, son. My favorite wrestler growing up was The Rock. Triple H and The Rock, greatest feud. One of the greatest feuds ever in the Attitude Era. Triple H was just fucking everywhere, man. His reign of terror between 02 and 05, man. Even the whole DX thing. I was a fan, when the DX got back together and all this and that. But then he won the WWE Championship at Mania. Then he had the nerve to fucking beat CM Punk when he was white hot in his second match back on pay-per-view. He's a suit now. He injects himself into every storyline. He's the authority now. Even with NXT, he's the fucking daddy of NXT, so he's soaking up all the glory. You know what? Triple H is the greatest heel that I have ever seen.
It's true.
I fucking hate Triple H, but he's that's why I respect Triple H, because I don't think Triple H in real life is really a malicious person. He's done some fucked up shit, like we've all done some fucked up shit, but he plays his character to the T. Cause even though this whole Booker T shit pissed me off ever since I was a kid, I could understand the heel heat that he got, cause that made him a bigger heel. Cause I just fucking hated Triple H after that, and I just wanted to see him get his ass kicked. It didn't even matter anymore that Booker T was black. It was just I wanted to fucking see him get bloodied up and just get his ass beat. So that's where it's come full circle. I'll give him respect, but you still was supposed to have Booker T go over, man. You could have made the next big star, the next big black. That's kind of sounding a little Bruce Jenner right now. Next big black, but the next big black star, and even think about it. Even when he won the belt as King Booker, he still became. It goes back to what Triple H said: "You're not a competitor; you're an entertainer." He became a character when he was King Booker, and that's why he got the belt.
Had he beat Triple H, what I've been talking about Booker T right now is such a different way. Like, yo, we could have really been something else, man. Had he Triple H, man, that shit would have been crazy, man. But
Yeah.
and any last thoughts before because I got a nice little segue before this. So any last thoughts, man?
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna have to do a part 2 because I still got some shit I need to talk that I still want to talk about. But I'm just gonna say some things. Are we about to end the show, or do you got one?
No. Listen, we got a little segue to go. So
yeah, because I'm saying, because I was saying, if you wanted to end the show, we could, because I was gonna go down the next shit that we gonna go through. Or you still want to keep going? We could keep going.
You know what? There's one more thing. We're gonna end because listen, this is gonna be a multiple. Exactly to a point where there's gonna be there's so much stuff we gotta talk about. This is gonna be a multiple part show. But there's one last thing that we need to talk about, and I think this is the big one. And I think it kind of relates to the pipe bomb. You know,
yeah.
Name of the episode. Which by the way, you also mentioned something about it when you were talking about Triple H. CM Punk. CM Punk. And I'm not just talking about what happened between him and Triple H, what happened with him and John Cena. I'm talking about everything.
CM Punk.
Everything. This is how we're gonna end the show, man.
CM Punk. The guy who was in ECW for longer than he should have been. The guy who was in OVW for longer than he should have been. The guy who, instead of winning the WWE, the WWE ECW World Championship against John Morrison the night Chris Benoit no-showed, and we all know what happened with that. That main event was John Morrison, Johnny Nitro versus CM Punk for the ECW Championship. You know who went over in that match? Johnny Nitro. That's strike one. CM Punk should have won that match right there and become the face of ECW right there.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Instead of Johnny Nitro, John Morrison, where is he at now? Lucha Underground, which is a fantastic show, by the way. But I don't get their network. Maybe if they become on Destination America, I can watch it. But yeah, that's strike one. Then you have him win the Money in the Bank, right? Cash it in, win the world championship.
And what did Randy do?
Punt him in the face. Didn't even have wasn't even dignified to lose the belt. He had to just give it up because Randy kicked him in the head because Shawn Michaels and Jericho needed it. Strike,
just like that.
Strike two.
Yeah. Wins
the Money in the Bank again, right? Fucking no. I'm not even going into the whole stuff. The whole throwing him in the mid card tag team with Kofi Kingston,
which by the way was right away. It wasn't that, he wasn't supposed to be there. It was cool. It was cool.
But still, you going from world champion to in the tag team with Kofi Kingston, please, and then to the Intercontinental Championship, losing clean. Didn't he lose clean to I forgot who he lost clean to. That shit. I remember it vividly in my head just watching it on Raw. He just lost. Oh well, fuck it. Alright. Strike three. Let's go to he wins the belt the second time. Does the Straight Edge Society. What happens to the Straight Edge Society? It just poof. Just became nothing. Nothing at all. And then on top of that, you have the guy. He loses. He loses to. He's thrown into the new Nexus storyline. Added, he's the leader of that shitty shit.
Yeah.
And we already talked about the Nexus. The new Nexus versus the Core. Ooh, that's a new fantastic storyline. And he watches as the Nexus members get picked off one by one by Randy Orton, which is telling you that the members of the Nexus really ain't shit if Randy Orton could just pick them off one by one. And the leader of the new Nexus. Now, I was okay. I'm okay with the match. I'm okay with all of this. I'm not having a problem with Randy Orton. But at that point, Randy Orton was already like a 10-time world champion, right? if he already looks strong because for the last 3 months, he was picking off each members of the new Nexus. Wouldn't it have made sense for CM Punk to go over him, establish him as being a heel? But then again, CM Punk was already out the door, right? Because they already had it, because they already shitted on him enough. Then you have him in a feud with John Cena, and then he says the pipe bomb. He does the pipe bomb promo, let you know that Vince McMahon and Triple H and all of them and John Cena ain't shit. Week after that, does the pipe bomb, a second pipe bomb in the ring, saying John Cena is the New York Yankees. Great analogy.
Yo, let me tell you. By the way, let me just stop you right there. Sorry, I stopped you. When he said that, man, yeah, I was kind of marking up. Not for nothing. I just want to throw it right there.
Perfect, son. That described John Cena perfect. Everybody thinks he's the underdog, but he's really not.
Perfect analogy, man.
The Patriots, just like Boston. He's a fucking. Another analogy that was great was one Daniel Bryan used when they was in a feud. He called John Cena a parody of wrestling. You're not a wrestler. You're just a parody. So, okay, now back to what I was saying. We called them New York Yankees.
Yeah.
We go into Money in the Bank. He wins the championship. Walks out of Money in the Bank. So, how long do you think it took for him to come back? 6 months? 3 months? 2 months? How about 2 weeks? CM Punk comes back in 2 weeks. Okay.
And hold on, let me. Oh, I'm sorry again. Let me stop you there. Let me chime in when it comes to that too. And I'm pretty sure you was gonna say the same thing, but they really dropped the ball, man. Yo, why? First of all, and I know we're trying to everything together. Rey Mysterio, winning the belt, whatever, and John Cena. John Cena.
Oh yeah, Rey Mysterio. I forgot about that guy. Yeah, What was the point of that? Why not just join?
What was the point on having all of that happen? Why not have just one belt, the World Heavyweight Championship belt, right there, being the one contestant? Have it, yo. You know what? I could understand if it was out for a month, for 2 months, 3 months. Yo, that would have built suspense. Have him come back. Hell, have him come back at SummerSlam, or have him come back at Survivor Series, or have him come back at the Royal Rumble, something like that.
I had a perfect way they should have did it, son. But I'm gonna tie all that into it, son. Let me just keep it going. All right. So he comes back in 2 weeks. Alright, that's a little close for my taste, but okay, WWE. I can understand maybe CM Punk was catching steam. You want to strike while the iron's hot. Bring him back. CM Punk, John Cena have a title unification match at SummerSlam. Okay. Cool. No problem. CM Punk goes over. John Cena foot on the ropes. Okay, cool. Still keeping John Cena look strong. But here's where the Summer of Punk fucked up, and this is where it started. Because it's cool from up there. You can have CM Punk come back in 2 weeks because we know they're not patient with anything. So you have Kevin Nash come out. Okay.
Oh
he
my
didn't.
goodness, man.
He's scrolling down there. Didn't tear a quad or anything. Kevin Nash, big ass, big diesel. Jackknife power bombs.
Big Daddy Cool
in the middle of the ring. And Alberto Del Rio brings his Mexican ass down there, cashes in, wins the belt. Okay. The hottest babyface that you got in the company right now, hottest tweener that you got in the company right now, about to become a babyface, just loses the championship to Alberto Del Rio because of Big Diesel, which is going to start a feud with Big Diesel, Big Sexy Kevin Nash, and CM Punk. So you basically in one swoop take CM Punk out of the main event, put him in a feud with Kevin Nash in the mid card, and the main event is Alberto Del Rio and John Cena, right? Because that's really what's going on. Because CM Punk is in a feud with Kevin Nash, so Kevin Nash can't fight because I guess he tore his quad or something, and he has to fight Triple H. So Triple H says, if I lose, I wouldn't stop being a COO. Instead of having CM Punk go over and get rid of Triple H and Kevin Nash for good, he loses to Triple H. So, that means your hottest babyface just lost twice. Twice, son. He lost twice. So, that means, if he loses twice, he's in it was the Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell, Alberto Del Rio, John Cena, and CM Punk. He doesn't win there, but meanwhile, John Cena wins the belt. Yeah, right? John Cena wins the belt, and then Alberto Del Rio wins the belt. So it's like hot shotted between those two guys, right? So then, what was so important that they couldn't give CM Punk the belt? Oh yeah, I know what it was. They were so focused on making Alberto Del Rio the focus of the company because they was going on a Mexican tour and they wanted Alberto Del Rio to have a belt because they went on a tour of Mexico. I remember that. That's why they gave him the belt. But that failed because Alberto Del Rio didn't even draw money in Mexico. So once they realized that, they tried to switch the belt back on a CM Punk at Survivor Series, but that shit was already too late. You already fucked up what could have been the summer of Punk, and it's November. So let's go back. Let me tell you how I would have done it, and I'm just gonna say this, and then you can tell me how you feel about this. What I would have done is, I would have had CM Punk leave with the belt, right? Leave. You don't see CM Punk. Do what they said. CM Punk don't work for the company. Do what Vince McMahon said. Come out and say we will not mention his name because he does not work for the company and all this and that. Right? Have the world who was the world heavyweight champion at that time? Yeah, I can't remember who was the world champion. Was it Randy Orton? Because I think Randy Orton beat Christian at Money in the Bank, right? So I think it was Randy Orton.
Let me check.
I think it was Randy Orton, or was it Christian? Because Randy Orton, they spit in his face or something like that. It probably was Christian.
Alright, hold on. Just give me a second. I'll look it up. This was back in 2011,
yeah, I think it was Christian,
right?
Was the champion.
Yeah, Christian defeat. No, hold up. Well, it says here that Christian defeated Randy.
Yeah, and then that meant that Christian would get the belt. Because if Randy got disqualified, he would lose the belt. Because I remember Randy going off on him after that. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so cool. So I would have had did the same thing. I would have had Vince McMahon try to fire John Cena, but then that's when Triple H step in and say, I'm the COO and we voted you out and this and that. So John Cena has to stay. Right? So cool. You just have one major championship. Triple H says we only have one major championship. You find some way to get that belt back on Randy Orton, and you do. I don't want to go too in depth because I would really have to sit and really think about this, right? But you would have John Cena win the World Heavyweight Championship, right? John Cena win the World Heavyweight Championship, holds that belt. CM Punk returns at Royal Rumble with the WWE Championship. Right, and then that's when you do CM Punk versus John Cena for the title unifications at WrestleMania. John Cena World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk WWE Champion, title unification, main event WrestleMania. That's how you would have done it. But damn, wait a minute. The only monkey wrench that's thrown into that is The Rock, right? Was this the one that was promoted for the entire year, or was 29 that was promoted for the year?
Yeah, 28 was promoted for the entire year.
Damn, that's fucked up. Okay, but still, you still could have done it like that. Why not do? Okay, forget the WrestleMania main event. You could still do Cena versus Punk at that Royal Rumble, and have Punk win the belt, and then you still could do Cena versus The Rock. And then you could build on that story. You could build on that story for the entire year. Instead of having The Rock go over Cena at Mania, just have Cena go over The Rock, right, in Miami. So then it would truly be once in a lifetime. You don't have to do the rematch so Cena can get his win back. But you'll still have that hanging over Cena's head. Like, damn, CM Punk beat me for the belt. So even though I beat The Rock, CM Punk still got his number. So that's how you build that into CM Punk versus Cena at next year's Mania 29. If I really sit here and go in depth, I can really come up with something, but that's just off the top of my head. It's just the way he went down, coming back in 2 weeks, and then losing to Del Rio, and then they tried to salvage it with the 434 days, but they still fucked it up in the first half. The second half, they got it right besides him, losing the belt to The Rock at Royal Rumble. We could spend talking about the whole day fucking up CM Punk. We can go for days. The whole merchandise, him becoming number one in merchandise, and then them fucking all of that up, putting out all these John Cena shirts. And man, Punk had probably been the biggest missed opportunity because he could have been the most over guy since.
Yeah, he could have been basically, and I think it was.
He was the people's champion. He was the first legitimate people's champion since The Rock.
Yeah, he would have been like The Rock before him. Nexus Stone Cold, he would have been A1 and AB. And I'm not saying, CM Punk was good. He was great. He could have been out. He could have been the number one guy. But it's just the way. It's like they say on the the Polka Banda podcast. Just plugging that in there. If people want to listen to the his CM Punk episode. I'm just saying that's probably one of the greatest fucking podcasts.
That's up there. That's probably the greatest podcast I ever listened to.
I
can listen to that shit right now after we done with this, and I will still be entertained.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let me, I don't want to deviate off course. I'm going to the yard tomorrow. I'm getting on that plane. I'm going to listen to that podcast all the way to the yard. Let me just say that because CM Punk is entertaining no matter what. But getting back to my point. CM Punk could have been. I don't think it would have ever passed John Cena because I don't think the company or Vince would have never allowed that. John Cena was the number one guy regardless. However, in the Attitude Era, you had Stone Cold being the number one guy, but you also had The Rock. We all knew that if Stone Cold is around, The Rock was always going to be number two, but not number two in the sense that he's a suckish number two. He was a legitimate number one, but just behind Stone Cold. WWE dropped the ball on CM Punk. CM Punk could have been, like you said, he could have been The Rock, and so much more. There was so many off the ring stuff that we're gonna get to talk about. I don't know if we're gonna get to talk about today, because I kind of have to kind of go because I gotta go catch that plane tomorrow. But the way I see it, man, one of the biggest things that pissed me off was the whole Kevin Nash storyline with Triple H. I think if there's one, not off the ring,
the one from the early 2000s or the last one they had when they had that shitty ladder match.
No. I'm talking about when CM Punk fought Kevin
Big
Nash.
Daddy Cool.
Big Daddy Cool, decent. To me, that was one of the biggest. I don't want to say it was a disappointment, but it was one of the biggest head scratchers of my wrestling fan life. I didn't understand why. I
still can't even see where they was going with that.
Just to exactly. I mean, yeah, you want to say okay, it's Triple H trying to screw over CM Punk, but even after Triple H won, I mean, CM Punk was the good guy, and then you want to have Kevin Nash be the bad guy, trying to frame what again. We don't know what's going on. Triple H never came out to be a bad guy. To me, I never saw Triple H as a bad guy on that storyline. You know what I'm saying? To me, CM Punk was just an anti, I guess an anti-heel or
Yeah,
anti-heel
tweener.
or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I just can't put my head around that. I'm like, okay, so what was the point of having Kevin Nash? In the overall, and listen, me and you, we know that they fucked up, but what was the point of having Kevin Nash come in, screw over CM Punk, then frame
For the
Triple H
tax.
or something?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
man, the tax.
exactly.
That was fucking stupid.
For 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 something he didn't
Yeah.
do, for something Triple H didn't do, and then you have Triple H face CM Punk, and Triple H is a face by all accounts. It's basically a face against a face, and Triple H goes over. What was the what is the point
Oh,
of
and
that?
don't forget that
You know what I'm
Kevin
saying?
Nash sent the text to himself. That was
Exactly.
designed to fucking take him
Um.
down.
Um. I mean, seriously, what was WWE thinking with that? To take it even further, the longest reign in WWE history, in the last 25 years, the CM Punk historic title reign. That was great. Listen, I still love that. I still wear my CM Punk shirt with pride, but I don't think that would never make amends. And I'm pretty sure CM Punk feels the
No,
same way about this.
n-
That would never make amends with the way he was
never say
treated and the
never,
way he
son.
was treated.
Ultimate Warrior
I
said
don't know,
CM
man.
Punk can come back after after they release the self destruction of CM Punk, and then he gonna come back, and he gonna fucking do the job to Triple H at Mania. He gonna do the job. He
Um,
gonna come back and do the job to
to
Triple
me,
H at Mania one day. So
to me, honestly, man, um, if there, like you said, if there was ever a missed opportunity with CM Punk, CM Punk could have been so much more. Again, I don't think we'll ever reach John Cena, but he could have been that
you
AB
know what? Why couldn't he have been
status.
John Cena? Because John Cena, when you think about it, he's not as over as The Rock and
J-
Stone
sh-
Cold is.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah,
Vince was never
yeah,
gonna allow it.
yeah,
Vince
yeah.
was
You're
never
right.
gonna allow it. The crowd. Listen, the crowd that Stone Cold and The Rock had was us, was Attitude Era kids. Now, listen, I don't know. Listen, I'm not a marketer. I don't know how um, kids saw CM Punk back in the day. I don't know how much they liked him or whatever. Because I mean, the only way for you to beat the number one guy was to get over with the kids. That's it. That's it. But CM Punk was a us kind of guy, a Paul Heyman guy. You know what I'm saying? So he was probably never gonna get over with the kids, man. So again, that's why he was never gonna be a
He did
company man.
actually get over with the kids because if you're number one in merchandise sales, isn't it? You getting? It's not just the hardcore fans because if that was the case, wouldn't Cesaro be overselling certain people? Like if all the hardcore fans, like even
That's true.
think about Daniel Bryan, okay? Because at a point in time, it was just only Smarks that was if that was fans of Daniel Bryan buying his merchandise and stuff. So wouldn't Daniel? But I haven't really heard of Daniel Bryan being number one in merchandise sales like ever. Like I'm pretty sure I haven't ever heard of John Cena being lower than Daniel Bryan's merchandise sales. CM Punk, yes. So what was I don't really
Um,
understand about the kids. Like he was over. You could tell he was over with the kids. That's the numbers. The ratings didn't even go down. Wasn't going down when he was champion. It was okay. Well, ratings was going down regardless, but it wasn't because of Punk.
yeah, but you know what? But yeah, exactly. That's another thing. You can't blame why the ratings of the shows are going down. Just
and then they turned him heel.
I mean, the whole roster, it's a team. The whole show is an effort. I mean, it wasn't just the Rock and Stone Cold fighting against each other that made the era to era what it was. From the beginning of the show to the end of the show, that shit was great. I mean, that shit was great. I mean, listen, you have freaking Albert with a damn mannequin head. I mean, that shit is hilarious, man. You start a show with that, and I'm intrigued, man. You had some. So listen, that whole little argument of CM Punk not being able to bring ratings. It's supposed to be a team effort, man. It's not supposed to be just a one-man show.
I'm pretty sure Cena is involved. I'm pretty sure Cena wants all this stuff to happen, but it was just Vince at the time. I'm pretty sure Cena was like, I want to put Punk over and do this and that. I want to put these young guys over. He don't want to be the focus all the time, but that they just go back to him. Like Cena said, he wanted to turn heel after WrestleMania 28, but they wouldn't let him. So that's why I can't really blame Cena, because Cena wants to do these things, but if management says no, what can you do?
I'm gonna just plug in for the next week's episode. I think we're gonna continue.
We got a lot more stuff.
About CM Punk, and also about the way Vince handles some of the situation. The way Vince has. Well, I think. Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about the rest of the CM Punk stuff. And then we're gonna get into things. And I think that's what we should do, man. Just those two, because I know we have a lot more stuff, and maybe we could cover them to a much lesser degree. But if you want, we can finish up one and do other stuff, or maybe we can get into Vince in 2 weeks from now. But just to finish my thought, man, on CM Punk and basically on the whole show. CM Punk could have been so much better. He was really great. He was amazing, man. He could have been.
I remember being a fan of CM Punk, legit, like back in like 02 to 03, like when I remember seeing him in TNA, and he had the X's on his shorts. I liked him just because he had X's on his shorts, because he was different, and I was following him. I remember I taped his with the VCR. Still had a VCR in 2006. I taped his ECW debut. I'm pretty sure I still got the tape somewhere. Like, I'm a fan of Punk. He was fantastic in the ring. He didn't have the look, but man, he was fucking great. He had charisma. He was great on the mic. They just missed the opportunity with him. But we just gotta, in the next episode, we gotta talk about Lesnar versus Goldberg. We gotta talk about that, son. We gotta talk about Muhammad Hassan. We gotta talk about Lesnar's return in 2002. We gotta talk about Ryback after WrestleMania 29. We gotta talk about WrestleMania 16's main event. We still ain't get. WrestleMania 29. We got WrestleMania 29's main event. Yep. We gotta talk about Drew McIntyre. We gotta talk about fucking Cesaro. We gotta talk about Daniel Bryan, cause we still didn't talk about that. We even gotta talk about TNA missing on the opportunity of signing Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman said he would have fired all the old guys. And what's crazy is the old guys really aren't in TNA anymore right now. So where did those old guys get you? And I'm pretty sure. Think about it. Hear me out, son. If Paul Heyman would have worked for TNA, I'm pretty sure we would have seen Brock Lesnar on TNA. Think about it, son. That TNA schedule. Paul Heyman, his best friend.
I'm not as confident as you are, but
and Bellator. Think about that. Brock Lesnar, he would have been able to fight in Bellator, right? He would have still been doing doing MMA, and he would have been wrestling, and we probably would have had him feud with Bobby Lashley at some point too. See, that's a story for a whole nother day. So we ain't even gonna get into that. That was just a preview. We going on the show about 2 hours and a half right now. My back is hurt. I'm tired. I'm hungry. And he got to catch a flight in the morning. Anything you want to say, bro?
I just want to say I would think about all you guys, listening. I would think about all you guys when I'm down there smoking a cigar. So, it was a good show, man. Listen, I told you already. I want this episode to be the best one we had.
I think it is because 2 hours and a half. We really did cover some ground. We actually got some good content out. You know, now we got some people listening. It's great.
We went in, man. We went in. That's all that matters. Just like I'm going to go in DR, man. We went in right now.
Oh, but man, subscribe on iTunes. Subscribe on Stitcher Radio. I'm pretty sure after we done this podcast, this pipe bomb episode, tomorrow I'm gonna put it up on YouTube. I'm gonna finally make the YouTube. I'm gonna finally make the YouTube, and I'm gonna put the entire episode up there. Just the pipe bomb just the pipe bomb version of the episode, not the Extreme Rules, not the Elimination Chamber review. If you catch it on download, you can listen to it. You know, Twitter.com. Twitter.com. GNJJ Show. New Instagram at Mr. Gooch and JJ. That's MRGOOCH and JJ. So, yeah, that's the episode. Be safe. Don't go ass to mouth. You still there?
Don't get murked.
Yeah, and don't get murked.
Yeah.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.